We gotta talk about the NFT Lindsay Lohan had today because we're talking about bad character design.
Oh God, I saw that on your Twitter feed. Yeah, I saw that on your Twitter feed.
No, I just linked it to you on the DM. Like, just pull it up. We got it. I don't know if Cody has seen this yet, but it's pretty.
I've seen people talking about it, and it was the most surreal shit because, like, where did it come from, right? What the fuck? By the way, that's the whoever drew that for her.
That looks like shit.
The person that drew that probably shits in a cat box at a hotel.
Yeah, that's the look I'm talking about. That's that exact eyes. I was talking about, like, that half anime, half Disney eyes. That's the eyes.
So, like, to describe to people that are listening, so, like, Lindsay Lohan released an NFT, right? I don't really care if you release them or not. That's not really, I don't fucking care. But instead of commissioning somebody that could provide her with high quality art for this unique piece of art that you could only ever get by right-clicking, right? And saving. She decided she was going to commission a really low-quality furry art that kind of looks like clip art, honestly. It looks like old, shitty, early 2000s clip art of, like, an old...
It kind of does. Because it's got it's got the large outlines, the form size, and, like, they're colored. So there's no real, like...
Oh, she's missing ears!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
She's missing ears!
Yeah,
she's supposed to be like a weird dog creature, and she doesn't even have the ears, and she's got weird short red hair that's not even blending in with her face. She got freckles, though. There's that.
How do you have freckles on fur?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's just the fur pattern. That's the hair pattern. That's that's the least of the problems here.
There's
just my tism.
Yeah, there's like, from two perspectives, this bothers me. As an artist, there's all these little things like, oh, they fucked up there, I can't stop looking at it. And as like a person that's sort of, I guess, an online person, probably more online than I should be, this is clearly like sus furriness. You know, this isn't a cartoon anthropomorphic version of Lindsay Lohan like we were shown with the cosplay guy that he does. Nah. This is a 100% degenerate fursona. I think, like, you could see, like I was talking about with the fucking muzzle, like the fucking snout, like when that shit looks too animal, when it looks too animal, and it's like they dial back the cartooniness, because the cartooniness, that's like more inviting, right? That almost tells you this is fine. Do not be scared of this. When they dial that back and they're in this sort of middle ground here, that's when it's like, oh no, that's like I'm on alert right now. You know what I mean? Like I'm on, like,
my fight or flight's going on.
Yeah, my fight or flight.
Yeah, Amogus.
Yeah. That's when I've got the Warhammer thing going in my head, man. I think we got degenerate spotted. I think we need exterminatus. I don't know.
The Emperor has declared an exterminatus.
Yeah.
Does she link the artists on this?
Yeah, she does. It's Canine Cartel NFT.
Well, see, now that also is a one.
Canine? Is it like the actual NFT drawer, or is it like just the people distributing it? I think you have to, like, get some weird kind of setup through, like, people. I think that because, like, these NFT people, they'll reach out to celebrity types and be like, hey, promote my NFT or whatever so I can get money from you. And so people like Lindsay Lohan are like, okay, I'll just put my name in whatever. And I think that's what they probably did here. And there's got, like, probably commissioned some other kind of furry artist just to, like, who doesn't do really good furry art, just like a really cheap one. Probably even like from like fucking India or some shit. Like these like Fiverr fucking artists. And they commissioned that and then they're selling it as an NFT. That's probably what happened.
Maybe. I have no idea, but
I study a little bit of the cryptocurrency because I like money. But yeah, it's like yeah. And that's what they do. Normally these like people who either make shit coins, like Bitcoin, like knockoffs or whatever, they want to make a lot of money really fast. And so they reach out to people like Lindsay Lohan. So a lot of her followers can either invest a lot of money all in one go, and then they bail out. And with NFTs, it's Laura like, hey, get your fans to retweet this NFT and we'll like maybe split the profits, or I'll give you this amount of money. for sharing our NFT. And Lindsay Lohan's like, okay, well, that's easy. And so she agrees to that for the guaranteed money. And then the K9 cartel probably just hires some like shitty Fiverr artists to actually make the NFT itself.
Yeah, probably. I mean, if they do it that way, at least they'll own like the copyright to the art or whatever.
Yeah, the NFT thing's weird. Like a lot of it's a scam, but then a lot of people are getting into it that I guess are exploring what it could be if it weren't a scam.
I mean, that's just like, I mean, what's the value of art? Like, what's worth putting your money investment into? Like, a lot of people think also, like, I mean, putting money into art in general can be like scam and like it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, well,
like,
that's the thing. Like, technically, when it's like, oh, NFTs with art, right? That's just what commissions have been for years. And a lot of it's like clearly a scam. Like, oh, you own that, you keep it, you just get to have your name on it or whatever. But,
I mean, the money isn't actually into the art piece itself. It's to like the blockchain with like you're investing money into the actual like crypto blockchain, hoping that it gets you more money. That's what it is.
What the strange thing is like okay, you that picture there, right? Auction to be the owner of that picture. Okay, well, what do you get if you own that, right? Anybody, let's say for whatever reason you like that picture, I'm sure, just on principle, there's going to be a million fucking porn pictures of furry Lindsay Lohan now. Like I feel like the furries are.
It's going to get memed on there.
Yeah, almost like almost like they're going to as a meme. They're going to porn that. So, like, do you own the rights to that picture? Do you get to take any of the porn artists to court? You don't. You can't really own the picture because anyone can just right click save as. There's a different thing. Like, there's a site that I've promoted a bunch, and I have Cloud Scratcher up on it. It's a great site. It's called Crypto Comics. It's in beta right now if anyone wants to check it out. Like, and a bunch of like small comic publishing companies and stuff have jumped onto it, where they use the blockchain essentially to give digital comics value. So it's an actual digital comic. It has like it's not just a singular image. Here it is. It's a great site. I'd recommend people check it out. It's not just a singular image. It's an entire digital comic with all the pages. You can even attach audio files to it, like if we want to do director's commentary or whatever. And that gives value to that specific comic because the blockchain can keep track of that comic, that file with all the pages, and how many people are buying that comic, that specific file with all the pages, and who you sell it like a physical comic. So it basically allows a digital comic to have the same value a physical comic would. Well, that makes sense because this is it's a file essentially. It's the
you're paying for a product.
Yeah, well, not only that, it's the whole of it's this digital comic. It's technically not a paper product. It's not there, but it's this entire comic with all the pages and everything.
Yeah.
When you're getting into making an NFT of one fucking JPEG, that's when I have to call scam. Because you could blockchain me all you want. I right click save as, I have that picture. Like you can't even prove unless you look at the blockchain to see this is the original picture. Well, who gives a shit? It's a picture. I copied it. What makes your blockchain connected JPEG any more special than the right click saved as version I have, aside from its connection to the blockchain? What value does it have to an average person, right? Like the crypto comics thing that has value, that is the comic that you can read. So there's a value to that, to having that digital comic connected to a blockchain. Because now, like, it's like the same way that they determine the value of an actual physical comic. How many are in print? How much demand is it for this one? Like, there's something quantifiable there. There's nothing quantifiable for a JPEG. I don't care if it's got the blockchain stuck up its ass. It's still the same JPEG of this other picture. If I'm looking for reference pictures on Google image search, right? I got to draw some. There's no. If I got to draw a picture of someone swinging on a rope. I got 80 fucking images of someone swinging on a rope. If a duplicate of an image of someone swinging on a rope shows up, there's not a goddamn thing that makes copy A and copy B any better unless one is like bigger and like a higher resolution. If they're the same damn picture, they're the same damn picture. So what I'm saying is Lindsay Lohan is running either a scam right now or she's so fucking gullible and wants to jump on this NFT blockchain shit and didn't get it. And someone poorly explained it to her. I don't know what brought about her commissioning a persona. I feel like that's the real story here. what led to this.
That's the real question.
Yeah. Because it's one thing, like Lindsay Lohan is doing an NFT of her persona. That's fucking insane. And that's so insane, I think we're being distracted from the real mystery here. How did this happen? Is Lindsay Lohan a furry? Has she been a furry for a while? And this is an artist she knew, and this has been her persona? Or is she friends with a furry and really didn't understand that it's like a thing?
Lindsay Lohan doesn't have much money. So whenever she's given an opportunity like this, she's probably not going to say no.
But I think there's more to that. Like, because the money, that comes later, right? I'm talking about the steps that happened before that.
Well, how much is... Okay,
where the fuck did this picture coming from? How did this get here?
How much is your value? Cody, how much are you valued to where you would put yourself out there as a slight chance of being a furry for the hopes of getting a lot of money? What would you value that?
I can draw anthropomorphic characters, and I've never drawn porn. I think that should tell you all you need to know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Imagine putting value to that. Okay, well, Lindsay Lohan, we'll draw you a furry creature for money. Instead of you commissioning a furry,
you've just yada 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 over the important part. How in the fuck did we get to even this part where Lindsay Lohan is trying to sell this? How did we even get to there being in existence a Lindsay persona as promoted by Lindsay Lohan on her official blue checkmark Twitter? Why does this image exist? There is a story that led up to it, and I feel like that is much more interesting because that's where the real questions are. We can the bitch wants money, yeah, obviously, but is Lindsay Lohan a furry, or did she get duped? Did she have a furry girlfriend that's didn't tell her that there's a fandom with some history and some black marks on it?
That's just crazy. I don't know. She's a weird girl.
But crazy is that there had to be a process, even with a crazy person that got here, and that's the shit I want to know. How, imagine, right, that fucking, I don't know, Clint Eastwood showed up at Anthrocon, right? Clint Eastwood visits Anthrocon, not in a fursuit, doesn't post anything about liking furries on social media. He's just there as not even a guest, right? It's not like he's voicing some Disney thing the furries like. Nah, he's a guest. And the mystery there, right? Is Clint Eastwood a furry? Does he have a furry nephew that he's there with as the adult? Maybe it's a young kid that doesn't really get that this is some shit. And he doesn't get this is some shit. And he's there as is he a chaperone to somebody? Is he why is he there? What series of events? Some series of events the Clint Eastwood calling up to Anthrocon, yeah, I need a ticket. One how many tickets did he order? Is he there with somebody? Or is it one ticket? I need to get one ticket to Anthrocon. Does he know? There's a story there that I think is more interesting than just the initial meme of Clint Eastwood at Anthrocon. So as much as this is funny and a meme, I gotta know the hows and the whys and how this even fucking happened. Because we got here somehow. This isn't even...
at some point this has got to be a Justin Wang or a Frederick Knudsen video, because there's some there. There's something deeper going on behind this.
Yes.
You guys, what would be funny if there was a furry Illuminati and then you see more and more big mainstream celebrities with furry art being pushed by this one people? That'd be a good fucking Justin Wang story. Or
yes,
that's not even far out of the realm, because there's always the suspiciously wealthy furry, and the meme is there for a reason. There is a weirdly high amount of people. If that's one thing the furries have over the weebs, there is a weirdly high amount of people that are successful that are furries. People that got money,
spending thousands of dollars on these fucking costumes and their degenerate art, and they seem to have an unlimited supply of money, to the point that it is a meme for artists on Twitter to talk about, do I do the art that I want to do, or do I sell out to the fucking furries with their thousands of dollars?
Yeah. There's something up. There's that one is a fucking brain surgeon, a prolific brain surgeon. That's you can't really make fun of this guy because of what he does. But what does he spend a great deal of that fucking life-saving brain surgery money on Star Fox macro gay porn, like art of the Star Fox characters being 50 feet tall. Fox. Yeah, like 50 feet tall, butt fucking in the middle of a city, just destroying. Like it's like gay 9/11, just destroying buildings with the power of their gay furry sex. And there's so much of it because of this one guy. If you look up, what's that furry site? It's like E-numbers. I just forget what it is because it's the most innocuous fucking, it's like a fucking code. It's like E and a series of numbers. But if you know what it is, go to that site. It's like the big furry image board and look up like Star Fox and I think like gay macro. And then keep in mind, as you see all of the pages and all of the artwork, virtually all of it,
because of the brain surgery,
come from this one brain surgeon. I think like the Philippines or something.
Wow.
Oh, and like, there's like, this is like a regular thing. There was that one politician that got added as a furry. I forget who he was. It's like, I think a libertarian.
That's not surprising. That's the least surprising part you could have said.
Gay furry libertarian, huh?
Yeah. There's like, it's like, I that's another thing. Like, I want answers on that. Why is that the case? Why are there so many rich, successful people that become furries? Why furries? There are all these other fandoms. This is why the furries were like my reality TV back in the day, because of shit like this. Because like, you look at all these other weird fandoms, right, that are about as weird as the furries. You got the bronies, you got the weebs, you got the fucking Steven Universe people, you got like all these fucking, you got the Undertale people, you got all these degenerate fandoms. But for some godforsaken reason, it's only the furries that are so inundated with incredibly rich people. Why? What is it about making all that money that makes you want to yiff? Or is it
probably just the autism, to be honest?
Yeah, but there's tons of autism in the anime fandom. There's not a shitload of rich people in the anime fandom. There's some. I mean, Kanye West is a weeb. But it's not... It's because, like, when there's, like, rich people in the anime fandom, they're like, oh, that's a rich person who's into anime, so it's, like, something special, you know?
They have a room full of, like, anime figurines and
like,
giant stacks of manga.
But with furries, they're so prevalent. It's like an underground thing because it just keeps coming. You know what I mean? Coming probably the worst used word used in this situation. But it's like it's part of it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you do furry art, you bank because of all the they don't talk about suspiciously wealthy weebs. You know what I mean? You don't talk about suspiciously wealthy bronies. It's the fucking furries. And I feel like I would kill to have a study done of like, why is it like, does being rich make you more furry inclined? Or is there something about what makes you furry inclined? It's kind of like why there's a lot of sociopathic CEOs, because there's like the shit you're willing to do to climb the corporate ladder will lead to success, but it also is like in turn with a personality disorder. You know what I mean? So is it like that? Is it the same personality disorders that'll make you a furry also more likely to make you successful? Or is it that something about like becoming rich and successful? Do they get like lonely and they see this group that like, oh yeah, come into our circle of degeneracy, and because you're really rich, you can afford to do fucked up shit? Is it that?
Yeah, I
want to know, because I feel like there's something really fascinating that we can learn about people and the human condition there.
So what I suspect was like, because they're like autists, right? So they're naturally like better at math and doing all these like specific things that pay a lot of money, right? Well, a lot of them are gay too. So more than likely they're gay, autistic weirdos, and they're lonely. And they probably don't spend a whole lot of their luck, a lot of the money. So they just accumulate wealth over time, right? From just doing their autistic job, coming home. I see
where you're getting at. I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong. First of all, the suspiciously wealthy furries usually have a job, right? They've got some kind of like well-paying job. Because there's in other fandoms you get this too, but it's not as as prevalent in the furry as it is in the furry fandom. Like you get like that guy that he's got a really, I think there's like some dude that like he's a high paying lawyer or something. Like he was a lawyer.
Puts on the programmer stocks.
Yeah, there's a guy's a lawyer that makes a lot of money, so he put a lot of money back into some anime thing I heard about a while ago because I just remembered it was like, oh, it's like the anime version of a suspiciously wealthy furry. Mm-hmm. So you have like with the people that the programming stocks and everything like that. I think there's more to it than that because, again, those people are in all of the fandoms. In fact, I would argue there are fandoms with more heavily autistic people than the furries. Like I mentioned, the bronies, right? Bronies are way more, the autism is way more heavily represented in the brony fandom than the furry fandom. Like it's prevalent in the furry fandom. Bronies, it's like 10-1. Like no joke. No, this isn't me memeing. It's like, you're more likely to find an autistic brony than a brony with like social skills. Like but you don't have suspiciously wealthy bronies, right? There's something else going on because there's all this, like even the like the people that can code, right? Like they're everywhere. And then, so it would stand to reason that if this were the case, that there would be wealthy people commissioning stuff in all of these fandoms, but there's not. They're there, but it's not to this level. And the gay thing, that's been something that, and I could say this is someone that's followed fandom drama since like the beginning of the internet. That's Jailhouse Gay. I don't know if you know what Jailhouse Gay is.
It's like adapting to your nature, I guess, and becoming gay because you have nothing else to love on.
It's the fact that they can't have sex with women because they're in jail. Hence, they become gay to get themselves off.
That's sort of it. That's where the term comes from. That's why it's called Jailhouse Gay. It's also kind of called nerd gay, but it's basically it's a human defense mechanism because we're social creatures. We need companionship. So in the event that you're a straight man with zero options for female companionship, your brain will start to rewire itself because it says like, uh-oh, this is a problem. Gotta fix it because I need my companionship. It's like how your body
go fast.
Yeah,
gotta go gay.
It's kind of like in like your body will eat itself to survive because it's got to eat, so it'll kill itself to survive. So it's sort of a similar thing where it will make an adjustment to like, I'm not getting the thing I need. Plan B. So if you go with zero options of female companionship, it turns you gay. You can even see this, and I remember as sort of the holy shit moment. I remember years and years ago back in high school, I was seeing people talk about this on the forums and whatever, and the demonstration that really like holy shit for me was when they would show the catalog of like a lot of furry porn artists because they were talking about furries at the time because furries have so much Jailhouse Gay in the fandom. Like you'd see their early art, right? And it's two chicks fucking, they got big tits. It's what you would expect from someone who is horny, right? And then suddenly the chicks start getting dicks. And then suddenly it's just dudes. And then it's just more dudes. And then it's chicks, dicks, and dudes. And those regular girls, they're starting to get less like you could see the fade. Like, and when I remember seeing like, holy shit, that's the moment I sort of understood, you know what I mean? And that's what you see a lot in the furry fandom. It's not that they're gay, it's they became gay through lack of companionship because they're socially awkward. We joke, they're repulsive. And that's the case with a lot of them. And a lot of them is just that they're so socially awkward they can't get a woman. You're also seeing, this is another reason I say weebs and furries are the same. You see this a lot in the anime fandom. Traps. The whole trap
obsession with traps and femboys, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is happening. It's the same shit. The same exact shit. There was even that 4chan post, the guy that had the realization when he was having no fap November, and he used to jack it to like traps, and then like I just realized that boy pussy is man ass, and I think I'm gonna be sick. Yeah, like it's that. That's the same exact shit. So that's what you get. And again, that's another thing. Like if it were what you're saying, you would have the same shit going on in the anime fandom because they're so alike, right? So the anime fandom and the furry fandom, they're like mirrors almost. So when something is different in one or the other, there's that question of why. And sometimes it's obvious. It's obvious why there's more problems with bestiality in the furry fandom than there is in the anime fandom. Fucking duh. Mm-hmm. But But then there's something like, okay, but why is there such a wealth disparity? I mean, obviously, anime fans got money because all that fucking merch. But then you see a lot of these guys, right? And they're spending money they don't have on that shit. Like, you'll see like a wall of merch in like a fucking room that looks like it's like a fucking ghetto room. Like, it's the only nice thing in that room is just the wall of merch. Like, okay, clearly you're spending like you're tired of your government check on anime merch. And then you got these furries that got fucking like they're lawyers and doctors and they're commissioning this degenerate art. And what I'm saying is someone got to fund a fucking study to find out why furries. What is it about?
We need a social deep dive.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Maybe one of these crazy academics that's always like trying to like scream about the alt-right pipeline or whatever. Maybe they can sit down and like actually go through and figure out where is all this money coming for the furry fandom. Who is funding this? There's got to be some like secret evil cabal or some conspiracy going on. Instead of focusing on like right-wing content creators, maybe the furries were the enemy all along.
Maybe we should just study the psychology of degenerates more than like people having a political opinion to begin with, huh?
Like because if Lindsay Lohan was secretly a furry, that just makes a scary amount of sense. You know what I mean? Because we have all these like fucking rich ass furries. Like, yeah, another rich furry. Like if some celebrity came out and was posting like Undertale fan art, that'd be weird, right? Like, oh wow, like Chris Pratt's really into Undertale. That's strange. But if Chris Pratt came out showing his persona, it would be less strange. And I don't think like we realize at first that we think that would be less strange. But yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, another suspiciously wealthy furry. At least I know how he got his money.
Right.
Like that's it's so strange. It's fascinatingly strange. I need to fucking know. Where is this coming from?
What should interview V? He's a scaly. He lives in Romania. He's a doctor, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, see, there's another one. Where are they? Why?
V actually
Were you a furry before or after the money? We need to know.
Yeah. Is it inherent or does one the other? I need to know. This is too weird for us to just let sit. Like you can't find something and then not explore it. It just science is dead if we don't find this out, because you don't look at like
answer to the furry question.
Yeah, that's like looking into the abyss of the ocean and not going and basically going, I don't care what's down there.
Maybe what it is is just like maybe they were like a little bit into like the weird curious sexuality, or maybe like I think that it's probably more normal than not that like, you know, maybe kids had like their first crush on a cartoon character. Well, that was a furry. Because like it's like you said, we grew up with like 90% of like all children's television with furry animals. So maybe like it's like more common than not a kid had a crush on a anthro character.
Oh yeah, that's super fucking common. But like
and then well, hold on, I got to the point. Well, maybe like you just kind of like put that to the side because you grew up out of it because obviously you're an adult. Well, then you start getting all this money, and then obviously, I watched Squid Game, which talks about this very subject of like maybe these people get so wealthy that they just get bored, and they get more and more into degenerate shit. The more bored they get, because obviously it's like nothing really gives you that dopamine rush, and then you add some weird shit to it. Maybe you add some furry ears, or maybe you go over to Epstein Island every once in a while, Bill Clinton. Like it's like one of those things where maybe you get more and more degenerate because you're more bored, because you have all this money you could spend anything on, but you just choose not to. Because you're like, well, I could just waste my money on this degenerate shit because it gives me a dopamine rush.
That's an interesting theory. I don't know if like it's 100%, but that's an interesting theory to springboard off of. I think the crush thing, I'm kind of 50-50 on that, because I can see where that would come in, but that was so many people back in those days. You know what I mean? Like, I hear people talk all the time about like, you know, the chick from SWAT Cats, or the
mouse, right? From
Gadget. I mean, Gadget has a whole fucking cult in Russia.
She's cute. I like her design.
Yeah, the whole fucking cult in Russia. So there might be something to that. Maybe that's like, you know, but then I got to think like, what about rich people that didn't grow up in that era that still become furry? Like something's going on. And
maybe you just got like really interested in it at one point because they were like looking for degenerate shit to like fap off to. Because I mean, like this is obviously, I mean, when you think of furry versus like good like character art, like we were saying, this is just gonna be the furry episode again. I think so. Well, like when you think about good, like it's like when you know the difference between art and porn. Like you know porn when you see it. Like you know it's like the fetish aspect of it, and that's what it is to these people. It's a fetish. And then when you add the fetish aspect to it, I feel like that's the difference. Is like you have the art and then the fetish, and then these people become like really obsessed with the fetish because it gives them a dopamine rush.
I guess
plus they're autistic too, and they can't really relate to people.
I feel like you're not gonna find what it is if you can't look past furry as a fetish and as degenerate, right? Because we know that's there, but that's getting too distracted. Like it's not getting to the heart. There's something deeper there, and in order to get to the heart, you got to go deeper. You know, furries, but like I feel like you're getting that's like window dressing. That's you're distracted by the window dressing and not getting into the heart of the matter.
It's so prevalent though. It's hard to not think about it.
Yeah, but there's like more. There's something more going. And I feel like we got to get to the bottom before we
got to get to the bottom of big furry.
Before we
do the globalist conspiracy of the furry.
Before they turn our furries gay along with our frogs.
No joke, we're gonna get a fucking weird cabal of like big furry if we don't figure out what the fuck is going on. Because these people are rich and they have a single fucking unifying interest. And we see how fucking fandoms circle the wagons. Imagine motherfuckers circling the wagons when they got money. I mean, we already see that kind of happening in Discord, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like if we don't find out what the fuck is going on, we're going to blink, and all of a sudden, furries are going to be a protected class, and Google's going to be like promoting Anthrocon on their front page or some shit. Like
it's going to be the LGBTQIAF. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah. Maybe not that far. Something, you know what I mean? Like something's gonna happen, and we're gonna get blindsided if someone find out what the fuck is the root of this.
You're gonna go 20 years in the future with a time machine, and you see like a giant red banner, and it's got like a black paw print on like a white circle, and you're like, oh no.
Well, like it's like what I think that'll happen whenever people like kind of accept the fact that people's persona is just it is them. It's like kind of like a weird two-spirit kind of thing. I feel like that's when people accept. Oh yeah, this is just a.
And both of them are gay,
and they're both fucking gay. Yeah, like it's. I feel like that's when like whenever they're like accepting, because like people already kind of like they're like their persona is not just an OC character that they like their design or whatever. It's literally just like this is me. This is like the most. This is what I picture myself. I imagine myself as a homosexual blue dog creature. I think it's
kind of yes, kind of no. I mean, I don't want to get on the furry. I think it's kind of weird now it's welcome, but I will say this. The fursona thing is basically like when people make their character in an MMO, right? It's like it's me, but it's the cool guy I want to be. It's like they're playing that guy. I wouldn't say it's really who they are on the inside. Sometimes it is like Messy Tails, obviously. That's who he is on the inside. But a lot of times it's like they've crafted this cool guy that they want to be as opposed to something that's like them on the inside. I guess it's more like who they want to be on the outside as opposed to their true inner self.
And YouTubers are guilty of that as well, you know, present company included. You know, you project this image of yourself that you want other people to kind of see you as. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, it's just like, it's an internet thing is really what I think it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. That just transcends all groups. And it's just kind of one of the fascinating, like as someone that was like read up a lot of psychology as a hobby for like completely unrelated reasons, I sort of got roped into just wondering about people. It's funny. Like I studied psychology on my free time to learn to write so I could make more convincing characters and better people. And I did not mean to actually learn psychology when I learned psychology because I was so focused on this other thing. But like now having read it, now I just keep thinking about what's behind that? What is the root of that? And I see like a lot of fandom shit. And now it like all kinds, not just furries, but all these fandoms. It's like now, like God damn it, I want to be like, I almost want to like psychoanalyze fandom. And I find myself doing that a lot. Like, what is the root of your...
Make a YouTube video dedicated to that. People would watch it.
But I don't want to make YouTube videos. I don't want to deal with YouTube.